Joining me now is Virginia Congressman and Vice Chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, Rob Wittman. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. What are your thoughts on all of this aid to Ukraine?
Well, first of all, Maria, there needs to be a consistent strategy out of the Biden administration. They have been lurching back and forth with what they say they're going to do, and then they're not going to do it. You look at the medium-range HIMARS missile systems. First they said yes, or first they said no, and then they said yes. And then the same with Patriot missile batteries, and the same with M1 Abrams tanks. There's not been a consistent policy. There's not been a strategy on how we are going to get Ukraine to a point to end this war. You can't just have this go on indefinitely. I think the American people want to help, but it's not a blank paycheck. There has to be that strategy, and there has to be significant additional oversight about where the money goes. And it's not just folks in the Pentagon, the Inspector General. It has to be including the Intelligence Committee. So if any of this weapons or any of these weapons go anywhere else, we need to know about that. Those are things that aren't being done that have to be done.
Well, I mean, are you ensuring that this is happening? You're the vice chairman of Armed Services. People want to know. You're an elected official. Are you gonna make sure of it?
Absolutely. I have a bill in that will ramp up the oversight on this effort and make sure we know where every single element of U.S. aid to Ukraine goes and make sure that we track it. Another thing, too, is we continue to push the administration for a strategy. Our committee, I believe, has an opportunity, not only with the Biden administration, but also officials in the Pentagon, to have them define what this strategy is going to be. They haven't to this point. Our responsibility is to make them come in and define that strategy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I want to get your take on this news that the United States is now going to beef up military presence in Taiwan. Officials planning to send up to 200 troops to Taiwan to help Taiwan focus on tactics and weapon systems, which would make the island harder to assault. Congressman, we had the chairman of the China Select Committee on this program, Mike Gallagher, who said he's expecting China to try to invade in 2024. He says that's going to be the vulnerable time because of the election there. Here's Mike Gallagher. Watch this.
2024 is the year I'm looking at. Obviously, we have a presidential election, so we're naturally going to be a little internally divided and distracted. But more importantly, Taiwan has a presidential election. And so I think those two things conspire to convince Xi Jinping he can't achieve this via political warfare, so he might choose the kinetic or hard power option. So 2024 really is the year of maximum danger, in my opinion.
Maximum danger. Is that why we're increasing troop levels in Taiwan? And are you expecting some kind of a retaliation from Communist China on this?
Well, I expect Xi Jinping to act as he always has, and that is to be a bully. So whenever there's action by us, he is going to react. And listen, I agree with Chairman Gallagher. I think that the window of vulnerability is indeed going to be in the next several years, 2024, 2025. I think the Chinese are looking at when can they have the greatest opportunity and the greatest window to be able to come in and take Taiwan. Now, I think it's helpful for us to go there and train the Taiwanese army. They have to be able to have a greater capability to deter the Chinese. And it's not just training their army, but it's also helping them in deploying assets that they already have that would be very helpful, like ships that could mine the Taiwanese straits. Those are things that create great deterrence to China. We need to be doing everything that we can to help Taiwan help itself, and to have them as a significant force that makes China think twice about coming across the Taiwanese straits to try to take Taiwan.
Well, why haven't all of the arms that we've contracted with Taiwan been sent to Taiwan? I mean, you know, that's another issue. They're expecting all of this aid in the form of military equipment from the U.S., and they haven't received it.
Well, Maria, that's a great point. We need to make sure that they receive it. You know, making the commitment is one thing, but making sure that Taiwan gets it in a timely manner is another thing. And not only to get the equipment, but once you get it, you have to train on it. It's not like it just appears there and automatically it's useful. We have to make sure that the Taiwanese Army and the Navy are trained with that equipment. So it's supplying the equipment and training. That has to happen post-haste. And again, it's our responsibility on the House Armed Services Committee to make sure the Pentagon gets that done.
Yeah, I mean, we complain all the time on this program about the politicization of all of these agencies. And now we've got news that the U.S. Air Force is admitting that they improperly released military records of several members. They released their records. Republican Congressman Don Bacon and Zach Nunn both had their records released without approval during the midterm campaign, Congressman. More politics here in the face of dangerous situations. What happened?
Maria, this is against the law. There needs to be a full investigation, and the people responsible for this need to be held accountable. This is clearly a violation of the law, and this crosses the line where now you have political opposition research turns into an illegal activity. I share Representative Bacon and Representative Nunn's outrage on this. People within the Air Force and any other element that's led to this divulge of military records has to be held accountable. You cannot allow this to happen. This is that frustrates people, where politics now creeps into the functions of government. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. And it happened at the IRS, too, right? They start divulging people's tax returns. So, you know, I mean, it's just really horrible. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. We'll keep a spotlight on it. Rob Wittman joining us this morning. Thank you, sir.